Welcome to Why Deloads Make You Stronger, because I am always shocked at the amount of athletes that I coach who have never done a structured deload before they start working with me. And I can absolutely assure you that if you are training for a specific goal or set of goals that are performance related, so you want better gymnastics, or you're training for better lifts, or you're training to get fitter, a deload is an integral part of your training that cannot be skipped and needs to be taken as seriously as your training weeks. Now, this is what most athletes think when they are faced with their first deload. They are worried that they're going to lose fitness and or strength from the week off. They think they might go backwards in their training. They literally don't know how to stop. A lot of times, this is the first deload they will have ever done, and they've been training for years and they have no idea how they're suddenly not going to train for a week, especially when everyone else is training around them. They will feel lazy if they don't train with a double R. So this is what a lot of athletes are thinking. And I really want to give you some firm scientific backing to prove to you that this is not the case. So this is what happens when you don't deload. You have no overall structure within your program, and this is actually how most athletes train. There's no clear progressions from week to week. There's no clear cycles. There's no clear stepwise progressions towards a particular goal. And this leads to plateaus for years. Athletes come to me who have not hit a PB in 2 years, or in the same place they are in their gymnastics for months and months, or they've been trying a new skill for however long. Training which doesn't have proper cycles and proper structures and proper deloads leads to plateaus. They lead to fatigue, and eventually they also lead to burnout. On the flip side, having deload weeks properly structured into a training cycle allows you to hit the correct intensities in the weeks outside of the deload that lead to an improved performance. In order for your body to get better week to week, month to month, year to year, and for you to look back in time and see a very clear performance increase, you have to be training at a certain intensity. And that intensity is impossible to maintain for the long run. The requirement for you within your sessions to be pushing yourself in terms of strength and fitness can be maintained for a few weeks only and no more. And if you were to try and maintain it past that, you'd become injured, you'd become burnt out. So for us to put your body in a position where we can push it to the correct intensity for a few weeks, we have to put a deload in there so that your body can rest, recover, and adapt before we go back and expect your body to peak. So deloads help provide overall structure within your training cycle that actually allows you to clearly progress from weeks 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. This is what happens when you train on a micro level. So think of this in a one training scenario. You walk through the door in your gym and you're at your base level, your current level of fitness and current level of strength. Now, whilst you are training within that session and you're completing lots of strength pieces, some skill pieces, maybe a Metcon, your overall fitness and strength is slowly declining during the session. And the more that you do, the less that you have to give. And after your hour session or 2 hour session, you actually leave the gym at a lower baseline fitness or strength than you walked in at. Importantly, you give your body time to recover. So you're at home or at work for a period of time where you're not moving, but you're eating and you're replenishing everything that you've just done. And in theory, what happens if you do this properly, you experience what's called a supercompensation effect, where once your body has appropriately recovered from your training, you end up slightly fitter, slightly stronger, slightly more skilled than when you entered. Now, what happens over time is this compounds, and over time you get fitter, stronger, more skilled. And in order to allow this to happen, like I said, we need to be training at a hard enough intensity in your session, having appropriate recovery session to session that leads to a more maximal supercompensatory effect. So the harder your training is, the bigger you can expect this supercompensation to effect be, which is why a higher training intensity leads to greater results. But as I mentioned before, this can't be maintained over weeks and weeks and weeks without a longer period of rest. There becomes a time where if you do this for too many weeks, your body can't cope with it anymore and it will begin to go backwards. You'll get injured and you'll burn out. So that's when we need to put a longer period of recovery in, not just the hours between Tuesdays and Wednesday session, but a full training week is what I choose to do. And that allows your body to make bigger adaptations, properly recover. And when you return to your training in a peak week, hopefully, if this is the way your training is structured, you can expect to see marked increases from where you were in week 1. So this is how I choose to structure my programs on the compete method. We have 4 weeks where we step up the intensity, push the athletes to keep improving. We get to a point in week 4 where they can't really continue. So we have a structured deload week. In this week, the athlete rests, recovers, and adapts. And when we return in week 6, most athletes will hit PBs, have significant improvements in their skills, and feel a lot fitter as well. Thanks for watching, team. That was why deloads make you stronger. As always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to pop up to me on Instagram at any time. My Instagram handle is coach_Briscoe if you don't already know it.